Good evening and welcome. The other night I went on one of those Jack the Ripper tours of the East End of London. We entered a terrifying world of smog and murder, gin and prostitutes, filthy pavements and flashing knives. And it must have been even worse back in the 1880s. Speaking of grisliness, let's get on with the quiz. Tonight's teams are, on my right, Andrew Condon, a history graduate who was hit in the face by an airborne Wellington boot at a music festival in Ireland. Edward Pearce, an editor who cycled past a giraffe without noticing it. And their captain, Nicholas Nagata, a rock climbing enthusiast who enjoys drinking whiskey and calculating probabilities. All keen on inventing new games, they are the Gamemakers. Nicholas, in your first heat, your team displayed some amazing jumping knowledge. There were some great facts there. Do you think sport is your strongest suit?
I think between the three of us, yeah, I think that is our strongest suit. Absolutely.
In your last game, you didn't recognise Adrian Edmondson and you hadn't heard of Reg Varney. What's your favourite sitcom?
Frasier.
That explains it. Thank you very much for coming back. This time you are facing, on my left, Anthony Martinelli, a pharmacology graduate with an interest in fungal lung disease. Maggie Huang, a PhD candidate who is a proficient pig walker. And their captain, Sophie Lovick, a junior doctor who accepted a glass of water from Richard Branson at a balloon festival. All medics working for the NHS, they are the Scrubs. Sophie, in your missing vowels round last time, you didn't get excruciating pain. Presumably you just haven't seen enough of it.
No, we're actually very good at stopping that from happening, so...
Your first heat reached a tiebreaker. Was that a tense moment for you?
Just a little bit.
Well, I think the answer tonight is to perhaps win by far more or lose by far more. Let's see what happens in this evening's game. You've won the toss, but you've decided to put your opponents in first. So, Game Makers, please choose an Egyptian hieroglyph.
Could we have 2 reads, please, Victoria?
Yes, you can. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
OK, next.
So it could be violin, golf club.
Yeah, anything else here? No? Next.
That's like rhythm and blues.
Is there any connection there, guys?
So if you got royal and ancient...
Royal. Anything? Next.
What's the word beginning with R?
So it's resting.
Just R and R, something B and B, maybe something like that. It's like
So it's R and R, R and B, R and D, R and A.
Is that? You already happy with that?
Yeah.
All right, Andy, you're going to answer, OK?
So R and A, R and B, R and D, and R and R.
That's exactly right. They're all R and something. And what is R and ancient?
I believe it's a golf club.
The Royal and Ancient is a golf club in St Andrews, that's right. Research and development, rhythm and blues, and rest and relaxation, all R and something. Well done. Scrubs, what would you like?
The Horned Viper, please.
OK, what is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
So it's TEDx, right?
TEDx,
Yeah.
SpaceX.
Next, please.
Yes, you had an X. It is with an X.
So we think they're all something X, so the independent TED Talks are TED with a little X at the end, and the gender-neutral term is Latinx or Latinx.
Exactly so. You add an X, that's all it is. We would have seen the LA airport LAX, and I actually heard you saying SpaceX, which is Elon Musk's space company. Very well done. Game Makers, what would you like?
Let's have Twisted Flags.
Why not? We all listened for the music there, but it didn't come in. What is the connection between these 4? Here's the first.
US Army decision-making support system.
Is that no, it's not GPS.
Next. British hard rock group. Could be any number of them, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could.
No. Next. Profondo Rosso, 1975.
That means deep red.
Deep red.
Oh, and that's deep purple, so it's deep and then something.
Yeah, so deep colours. Everything is deep colours. Deep red, deep purple. So
yeah.
deep.
Yeah,
That'll
go
follow.
with deep colour.
Yep. Ed, why don't you go for it?
These are all deep and a colour.
They are all deep colours. At clue 4, you would have seen the chess-playing computer. What's that?
Deep blue.
Deep blue. But what did we see?
So we saw deep purple. The deep purple
So that's the rock group, is deep purple.
and deep What's the other one?
Deep red would be the film.
Deep red is the film, but the US Army decision-making support system is...
I don't know that one.
Deep black?
It's deep black would be spooky, wouldn't it? But it's deep green. Similar kind of thing. It's got to be something dark and mysterious. Deep green. They are all deep colours. Well done. Back to you, Scrubs. What would you like?
The Eye of Horus, please.
OK. The Eye of Horus. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Bill Murray? This could be Bill Murray.
Okay. Next, please.
Vincent. It could be Liza Minnelli. Husbands or...
Is there a Liza Murray or an Elizabeth Murray?
I'd go next.
Next, please.
Richard and May. Lisa, they're Richard and
So they
Judy.
do things as husband and wife. No, isn't Cabaret husband and wife? Liza Minnelli and Vincent.
Do you want to see the last one? Or?
Yeah. Next, please.
Yeah, they're with Judy. They're with Judy.
So they're in forms of entertainment with their wives.
Oh, no, with Judy. With Judy.
With Judy. Okay.
Well, I will accept it, because you have given me the information that I need to hear, which is that they have wives called Judy.
Yeah.
Who do you think that is at clue 1?
I think
They thought it might be Bill Murray's name.
Who do you think his wife is?
Judy Murray.
Judy Murray. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Do you know who
yes,
Judy Murray is?
Yes, we know Judy Murray. Yeah, Andy Murray's.
Judy Murray
Jamie
is
Murray's
the mother
mum.
of the Murray tennis player. So William
I
Murray was
see.
her husband. Richard and Judy, you knew, of course, Punch and Judy. And Vincente Minnelli was married to?
Presumably this is
Judy
Liza Minnelli's
Garland,
parents.
maybe?
Yeah,
Judy Garland.
Okay, it's Liza Minnelli's
And
mother,
their daughter
yeah.
is Liza. And, of course, they did work on films together. So in a manner of speaking, they're all in entertainment together. Certainly they have wives called Judy. Who is the best husband of a Judy in this lineup? Obviously Richard Madeley, the man who once said, imagine if there had been Morris dancers at Dunkirk. Here's one of my favourite things that Richard Madeley's ever tweeted. He tweeted not long ago, demolished daughter in uni challenge tonight, but she came straight back and wasted me on Only Connect. Grrr. All married to Judys. Gamemakers, what would you like?
Lion?
Well done. You get the picture question, although in a way that's just as difficult.
Yeah.
What is the connection between these picture clues? Here's the first.
Oh.
That's the...
Is it
that's
Yesminster?
Yesminster, but I can't remember.
Okay, next.
his name.
That's a duck, a particular kind?
No, it's Mandarin, so they're all Mandarins. 'cause
Yeah,
the
shall we go
civil
for that?
servants are Mandarins,
Yeah,
so
I think that's
it's
it.
Mandarins.
Oh, I'm going. Be calm, Nick. Be calm.
Tone up.
Mandarin.
Brilliant. They are all forms of Mandarin. Obviously, looking up there, we can see an example of Mandarin Chinese and the fruit. But how did you get it from 2 clues?
So I recognised that the duck was a Mandarin duck, and then often you hear top civil servants are referred to as Mandarins, so...
That's absolutely brilliant. I mean, the giveaway clues come later. Of course, if you recognise Mandarin Chinese as opposed to other sorts, here we get a speech bubble saying official's language or official speech, which is where Mandarin Chinese comes from. And the Mandarin fruit, a Chinese fruit which some say was named after the fact that the Chinese officials wore orange robes, although we don't quite know. I mean, brilliant. Well quizzed. Back to you, Scrubs, for the last question of the round. It's the music question, it's water. You'll be hearing your clues. What do they have in common? Here's the first.
London Underground.
By the Jam. That's entertainment by the Jam.
Next, please. I don't know what this is. Next. Next, please. It's next, please.
You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change.
Did they all list
that
the
tune.
dates or something like that? Because
That was fun.
do they all list parts of the year?
They do not all list parts of the year. Gamemakers, do you know for a bonus point?
Are these... Do they all have names on things that you might put on toast?
Do you know, I don't think either of your answers refer to any of the clues. What parts of the year do you think you heard?
I thought there might be days of the week in one or two of them.
The last one had months.
Yes, Not in any of the titles,
Not in the
though.
titles, in the lyrics, yeah.
And what do you think we'd have on toast?
Well, we think we recognised it was The Jam as the first clue.
And then if you're really, really, really hungry, I guess you have Frank Sinatra's Rat Pack. But, you know.
It is The Jam. It's the Jam song, That's Entertainment. We also heard That's Living All Right, Joe Fagin, That's Amore, Dean Martin, and That's Life, Frank Sinatra. All that's something. And that means at the end of round 1, the Scrubs have 4 points, the Game Makers have 6. Round 2, sequences. What comes forth in a sequence? And I'll be asking that of you first, Game Makers. Which hieroglyph would you like?
Eye of Horus, please.
Eye of Horus. What would come forth in this picture sequence? Here's the first.
Okay, anything nice?
I think that's Neil Young.
Neil Young. Okay,
Yeah.
next. Men's? Men's room, toilet, washroom, bathroom.
Yeah.
Anything coming up?
No, nothing for me.
It might be a sentence of some sort.
Could be
if you get
next.
some more.
Oh, and I can't for the life remember.
Okay, so we've got Neil Young, we've got men's. Neil Young men.
Young Men's Working Club.
Working, yeah, club.
So the chocolate bar, a club chocolate bar.
Like club, so anything that's a club.
Yeah, or a club.
So
suit,
like,
yeah.
so it's a golf club.
Yeah.
A picture of a golf club.
And why would that be?
So we think this is acronyms for the last one being a club. I think it's Young.
I'm going to
Men's.
stop you there. It is not a
It's an
club.
association.
Scrubs, do you know for a bonus point?
Is it an association?
Association.
Yes, YMCA.
An association. What are we looking at?
So the YMCA, the Young Men's, that must be someone called Christian Association.
It's Terry Christian. Young Men's Christian Association. I asked you for an explanation because you could say that a club is an association. But if you're looking for the word club, no. We've got the band from the late 60s, the Association. YMCA. Well done, Scrubs. You get the bonus and your own choice. What would you like?
The Horned Viper, please.
OK, what would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Tuvalu is an island country.
Next,
Stop TV.
please.
Nauru. Okay,
So these
by
are
geographical
countries in that
size,
island group.
how big they are.
We could go down to Micronesia. I think we want to see the third one.
Next, please.
Monaco.
Oh,
Are these going to be smallest countries in the world potentially? And then it would be
Vatican
Vatican
City,
City.
I like that.
Is there any reason? Is there anything else we can do?
I've got vowels, but
Tuvalu.
I've got
Tuvalu.
3 vowels, but that.
I think I would just buzz and say Vatican City. Buzz.
The Vatican City.
Is the right answer, and why?
We think these are smallest countries in the world in descending order of size.
That's right, they're getting smaller, and the smallest would be Vatican City. Very well done. Back to you, Game Makers. What would you like?
We'll have 2 reads again.
Why wouldn't you? What will come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
553125. Next. 44. So the top first 2 numbers are dropping down in sequentially. 256, and then there's 1 fewer number entirely. I can't see it. Next. 33. So it's going to be 22 and then something. So it's going down.
What's 27 times 27? Does that make 256?
So 3 cubed is 27. So would it be 2 squared?
So it'll be 224. Yeah, 224. Should we go for that? Because that ends up, doesn't it? 224.
Is the right answer. And why?
So the first 2 numbers are dropping down, so 554433, so it's 22. And we think the third set of number is that number.
It's the first number to the power of the second number.
Exactly so. And you moved on quite quickly, but there are, of course, mathematicians who would look at that first one and get an immediate 5 points.
Yeah.
Because we've simply taken out the symbols. 5 to the power of 5, so 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 3,125. 4 to the power 4, 256. 3 to the power 3, 27. And 2 by 2 is 4.
Yeah.
Well done. Scrubs, what would you like?
The lion, please.
OK, what will come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
That's as soon as possible. Can you do anything with the words passa?
Or upside down.
Next, please.
As soon as possible. So we're seeing as
soon
Why
as
is there an
possible.
extra S?
As soon as possible. No, it's just going to be, so the next one is going to be as soon as, because it's as soon as possible.
Oh,
as
yeah.
soon as possible.
Oh yeah, so
as soon as
ASA
possible.
possible,
So it's
ASA possible.
no, it's just going to be
No,
as soon as
it'll be the
possible.
last one because no, because you don't have the as in the second clue. You only have soon. So it's as SAP, A soon AP,
So ASA possible.
ASA possible plus.
ASA possible.
Is the right answer to this extremely annoying question. Perhaps you could explain it, Anthony, because I find it aggravating.
It's just the acronym ASAP, except it's the first, second, third, and fourth word of that acronym is spelled in full.
Exactly so. So we're putting a word in full each time, but sequentially. So as SAP, A soon AP, A S as P, and then ASA possible. And if you still don't understand, go back and watch it again because it's too annoying to sum up. Game makers, what would you like?
The twisted flax.
OK, what would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Ezekiel Rollins. Anything, guys?
No idea.
Next. How peas taste. Is that a famous quote for something?
Yeah, I don't.
Next. Liz in 30 Rock. So
Listen, it's Liz Lemon.
yeah. So, but what's the next in the sequence? So is it something? If it's Liz Lemon, is it something? Lemon something.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Okay. So, squeezy. Yeah.
Yeah, a dog tug.
Yeah. Squeezy.
Have a look at the other clues. Have another
So
go.
it needs to be a dog
So,
toy.
so like a little plush toy.
That would do. Something meaning squeezy. We've gone with how Jules Holland's former band sounds, which is squeeze. And what do you know about the other clues?
So the Liz in 30 Rock is Liz Lemon.
Yeah.
And
Ah, you see, you like the American sitcoms. That's what it is.
Well, there you go.
Liz Lemon from the great 30 Rock. Peasy, you know how peas taste, that's what that is. And Ezekiel Easy Rawlins is a character created by the novelist Walter Mosley. Well done. The last question of the round for you, Scrubs. It's water. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
20 Etruscans, so there's a civilization.
There's also a letter to
Inhabiting
the Etruscans.
around that time.
Next.
Next, please.
22 Hebrew. Okay, so 22.
Yeah, I think these could be letters. Can we do anything with the
Letters,
words?
so
22.
Any other word? It could be letters in the language. Next, please.
24 Hebrew. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
26.
so
26 Roman.
So 26 is Z.
That's what we use.
So what? Yeah, 26 Roman. Yeah, alphabet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Do we use
Yeah, good.
26
Plus.
alphabet. Yeah.
Do we use
26 Roman.
26 Roman?
26 Roman or Latin is the right answer. Well done. What's the sequence?
I believe it's successive alphabets and the number of characters or letters within them.
Exactly, number of letters in the alphabet. And of course, there are 26 letters in our alphabet, which is the Latin one. You know, we mentioned Vatican City earlier. Did you know that cash points in the Vatican City have the instructions by default in Latin?
Amazing.
That's pretty cool, isn't
Amazing.
it?
It's pretty cool.
Although, in a way,
Challenging.
should they even be using cash points? Very well done. That means at the end of round 2, the game makers have 10 points, the Scrubs have 12. On to the connecting wall now. 16 jumbled up clues that the teams need to sort into 4 connected groups of 4. And you'll be up first this time, Scrubs. How was the wall in your first heat?
We very nearly didn't crack it at all, but we didn't disgrace ourselves in the last few seconds.
Have you honed your technique at all since that game?
I'm going to try and listen to these guys more, but
Okay.
I'm not sure that counts as honing.
Well, let's find out. You can choose between the lion and the water walls. Which would you like?
Can we have the lion wall, please?
Yes, you could. 2.5 minutes to solve the lion wall, starting now.
Okay.
Tempest, cyclone, whirlwind, tornado, and hurricane is number 5. So we could potentially cycle.
And Twister.
Yeah, there may
Okay,
be,
Twister as well.
what are they called? Roller coaster rides here as well. I just wonder about Chaos 2.
Or
Carbide,
Total.
Carbide
No,
is
these are robot wars.
Yeah,
Chaos
Carbide's
2,
robot wars,
Carboid,
yeah.
Apollo, and Gemini is one as well.
Can
I
you see
feel
any others?
Tornado. Try those 5.
Chaos 2.
So you said Gemini, didn't you?
Yeah, so-
missing out Carbide, missing out Apollo. Okay, missing out Chaos 2.
There must be others.
Must
Let's
be
have a
others,
look.
okay,
Oh,
so-
board games, Operation Battleship,
Twister.
Twister.
And
Mastermind.
Shows you? Yeah, okay.
Got it.
Yeah,
Great.
okay.
Okay, so do you want to try that again? Or
Should we try the twister one again? So the tornado, tempest.
Or twins?
Tempest, hurricane, whirlwind. So it must be Shenzhou or Soyuz.
Shenzhou is a
maybe.
space-related thing.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, yes. Soyuz is the Russian space mission.
And Shenzhou is the Chinese one. So then we've got Apollo, Shenzhou.
Okay, so we've got space
Three
missions, which
lives
is
now.
Apollo, Soyuz, Gemini
Shenzhou.
is a space probe as well.
It's Gemini and
So then we've got Robot
So
Wars. So it
we've
must be
got
Chaos
Carbide,
2,
Chaos
must be
2.
Robot.
Tornado. You said was a
Is a Robot Wars series winner, I think.
So what are we choosing
Possibly a-
between?
I think it'd be either Eruption or Apollo or Gemini. So try those three.
Do you know that the Soyuz
Soyuz
and
and
Shenzhou
Shenzhou
are
are
definitely
definitely
both
space
probes?
missions.
Definitely both space missions
Yeah.
of a sort.
Fine. So should we try Eruption?
Try Eruption.
You solved the wall. Very well done. You clearly had honed. But can you tell me the connections? What about the first group? Operation, Twister, and so on?
They're all board games.
Or games that you play at
So
parties.
Twister's
That's the thing, all
arguably a
games,
board, but
parlour games. I don't think anybody's played Twister, of course, for several years for health reasons. So I'll forgive you for thinking perhaps one might need a board
it's
nowadays.
a flexible board.
There you go. And the next group, Tempest, Cyclone, and so on.
Synonyms for storm.
That's right, storms and violent winds. And the next group, Carbide, Eruption, and so on.
Robot Wars, robots.
They are. There's something else, apparently.
They're series winners.
They
I
are
think.
series winners and champions, and of course,
Very good.
that's why Gemini was the red herring. Never a
Not-
champion,
yeah,
never a
not
series
a
champion.
robot.
Just sort of competed. Just an ordinary robot, really. Currently just drunk, sobbing in a bar. And the last group, Apollo and so on. What are they?
They're space missions from different countries.
They are spaceflight programs. So this time you found all the groups, you told me all the connections, you get the bonus for getting it all right. That is the maximum of 10. Very well done. Let's bring in their opponents now, give them the other wall, the water wall, and see how they get on. Game makers, you have 2.5 minutes to solve your wall, starting now.
All right. Okay, what do we have, guys?
We have gymnastics terms.
All right, start singing out loud.
Straddle, pike,
Straddle.
straight.
Bridge. Well, I was lucky. Next.
We've got small fish,
Yeah, we got
Go on.
chub, loach,
tench.
Tench.
smelt, I think.
Loach is probably also in the filmmaker.
Yeah, because we got Ken. So we got Ken Bruce, Ken Dodd, Ken Loach.
So, right, so
Ken
Ken,
Jeong.
Ken Dodd.
Yeah, Ken Dodd, Ken Jeong, Ken Loach, Ken Bruce.
Bruce. Okay.
3 lives now, you've got plenty of time.
Okay. So, what was the fish?
We've got 5
No,
sort
we've
of
got
senses, haven't we?
So we've got touched, tasted, heard, smelled. But let's check.
Wait.
Saw.
Touched, tasted.
Heard, smelt, and saw.
Okay, well, what's the other one's going to be? Tench, Vendant, Chub.
I mean, dace is a fish, so vendace perhaps is also a fish.
Yeah. So, shall we go for and saw?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try that one first.
You solved the wall. Very well done. Let's find out if you actually know what the connections are. The first group, straddle, bridge, and so on.
Ed, go ahead.
These are gymnastics terms.
Here they are. Are you a gymnast yourself or just a viewer?
I could never get over the horse.
We've all been there. Wait, that sounds filthy and I don't mean it. I really don't mean it to. I was very bad at gymnastics myself. And the next group, Loach and so on.
We got famous Kens.
They are famous Kens. Who are those Kens?
Ken Loach, I think's film director.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Jeong's comic actor. Ken Dodd is a comic. And then I can't remember who Ken Bruce is.
Ken Bruce, a great radio DJ. You say Ken Dodd is a comic? Questioningly one of the greatest comics of all time. Ken Dodd, what a wonderful day. What a wonderful day for running up to the vicar's house, poking a cucumber through the letterbox and shouting the Martians have landed. One of my favourite jokes. And Ken Jeong, he was a judge on The Masked Singer.
Was he?
Yes, he is in America. We only had him for one series of it here.
I'm thinking of the person in The Hangover. Is that the wrong person? Ken Jeong?
I think he was in The Hangover. He's a sort of actor,
Yeah.
but also a comic
He's also
personality.
a doctor as well, I think. Yeah, he likes to give medical advice on YouTube, and it's safe to say I think he's retired now from medicine, so he can say whatever he wants.
I'm a fan of The Masked Singer, though. It's such a weird show. It almost makes this one look normal. Up you come, Grandfather Clock, to sing us your version of Ring-a-Ring-a-Roses. All famous Kens. And what about the next group? Touched, heard, and so on.
These are senses.
They are the senses. You don't have to be Dr. Ken Jeong to know that. They're just the senses. And the last one, chub, smelt, tench, and so on.
We think these are all fish.
They are all fish. So you found all the groups. You told me all the connections. You get the bonus. It's a maximum of 10 points. Let's have a look at the overall scores. The Game Makers have 20 points. The Scrubs have 22. So great quizzing from both teams. It's a knife edge. Who will be staying in the series and who will be going home? Let's decide in the Missing Vowels round. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Be careful because you can lose points as well as win them. I will tell you that the first group all have horns. Scrubs.
The devil.
Correct. Scrubs.
An orchestra.
Correct. Game Makers.
The horned viper.
Indeed so. Scrubs.
Africa.
Well done. Next category, valedictory books. Game Makers.
Farewell, my lovely.
From Raymond Chandler. Scrubs.
Goodbye, Mr. Chips.
Yes, it is. Game Makers.
So long and thanks for all the fish.
Well done. Game Makers.
Farewell to arms.
Ernest Hemingway. Next category, two countries which end with the same 4 letters. Game Makers.
Poland and Finland.
Correct. Scrubs.
Kazakhstan and Pakistan.
Correct. Scrubs.
Australia and Somalia.
Yes, it is. Scrubs.
Uruguay and Paraguay.
Well done. Next category, reality TV catchphrases. Scrubs.
On your marks, get set, bake.
On your marks, get set, bake from the Great British Bake Off is correct. Well done. That is the end of the quiz. And after another fantastic round from these 6 brilliant quizzes, the winners and through to the next round with 30 points are the Scrubs. Game Makers, you finished with 25. That in itself is a really good score. I am so sorry to say goodbye to you. You've been a really lovely team, and I hope we see you again one day in some other version of this peculiar quiz. Scrubs will certainly be seeing you again later in the series. And coming up next, it's a spin-off from Celebrity MasterChef, where last year's winner, one of my favourite TV presenters, is spicing up the familiar dish of lasagna by suggesting variations on the traditional bechamel sauce. So why not join Michael Portillo for something experimental between the sheets? Next on BBC Two.